If you want to start a business or you want to be an entrepreneur, here's my advice to you. Before I jump into it, here's some things you should know about me. Number one, I have had a business that hit $70,000 in a month. I have been a director at an agency where I managed the company, which was worth multiple millions. I've been in business for the last 10 years. I've generated over $100 million in organic revenue for my clients. And I've been able to generate over 200 million visits organically for, both big companies and small companies. And all of this is basically aggregated into one data set or statistic. Anyways, I say all that to say that I think I've learned a decent bit about business, but I also want to say in the same breath that I'm not a millionaire. My 70K month happened one time. And I've been able to, hit a decent amount, but I don't want to talk about money. I just say that so that you know that, I've been doing this. You can look at my LinkedIn. You can see all the reviews that I have from people. Like, I just want to share my perspective on this topic. Um, and hopefully that's enough for you to want to listen. So, the first thing that's really important when it comes to running a business, in my opinion, is you first have to start internally. You, to me, in order to be a successful entrepreneur, from what I've seen from the entrepreneurs that I've worked with, because I wouldn't consider myself successful, but from what I've seen from the successful entrepreneurs that I've worked with, is you have to understand who you are. And you have to have a deep sense of self, right? And the reason why I say this is because when you really dig deep into who you are and you know what your vision is, what mission you want to accomplish, and what your goals are, it's easy for you to build systems and things around your goals to help you accomplish them, right? But you also need to understand who you are, because you need to understand your strengths, and you need to understand your weaknesses, and you need to be able to tell if those things are going to hurt you or hinder you in the business that you specifically want to create. So there's a lot of people that talk to me that are introverts that are like, I want to start a business and I'm going to start an agency because it's a natural progression of my career. And I'm like, well, why do you want to start an, like, I get it. I get the logic. It seems like the best thing to do. But if you're not a people person, then why would you want to do that to yourself? Right? There's other businesses that you can start in this day and age that don't require you to have to 24/7 speak to people, right? Um, I think it's just a little bit different now. So you have to really understand who you are. And that requires a lot of deep work. That requires a lot of introspection, because I view a business as an external representation of the person who's running it. And so, like, if you show me someone's business, I can tell you a lot about who they are and their life. And once you have everything figured out internally, which you'll never fully have everything figured out internally, but you should, to some degree, at least understand what are your interests, what are your goals, what's your vision for the future, and how does it align with the larger mission that you want to accomplish. Then it's easy to incorporate the business in your life. You should aim to build a business around your life, not your life around the business. Your life should dictate the business, not the other way around, right? And a lot of the times, the reason why most people can't succeed is because they have shiny object syndrome. And the reason why they have shiny object syndrome is because they don't even know themselves. So the thing that they start to chase is not the purpose or the intent, the intention of, or the abundance or the growth. They start to chase the things that society has deemed as successful because they haven't defined success for themselves. So money, status, all of this, like social acceptance, things that don't really matter, things that are extremely superficial, but on the surface they seem important because of who you have aligned yourself with, right? And because of that, this causes chaos in your mind because you don't know what to do, because you don't know who you are. And you're only choosing to do the thing based off of what society has deemed as successful. So you have to start there. Like it's very, very important to me in order to, achieve success, because you could be chasing freedom and you could be chasing, a lot of people say they want financial freedom and time freedom and location freedom, but the truth is you don't want that. You don't want freedom. You want autonomy. When you're free to do anything. You're free to eat bad. You're free to not go to the gym. You're free. There's just a lack of structure when you're free, right? But when you have autonomy, there's intention behind that. And so like most people want autonomy, not freedom. But how can you get autonomy if you don't have a vision mapped out for your life? If you don't really know what you want from life? And then if you're chasing happiness but you're not chasing fulfillment, there's a big difference there. Because happiness is based upon your mood. Happiness is conditional. And moods change all the time. You might wake up happy and you might go to sleep mad. Or you might wake up mad and go to sleep happy. It changes based off of the condition, right? Maybe you slept a lot, so you wake up and you feel happier. Maybe you didn't sleep a lot, so you wake up and you feel mad. You got into an argument with someone. There's a condition for happiness. There's no condition for fulfillment, because fulfillment is about being aligned, right? And so you don't want to build something based off of conditional moods. And so like, this is why you have to really understand what you want out of life. Because when your mood changes, you'll just quit. You'll just stop doing what you're doing. I'm not happy no more, so I don't want to do this. That's why you'll stop. But like, if there's a larger picture behind what you're doing, and you choose to be autonomous, and you have intention behind everything that you want to accomplish, then it doesn't matter what your mood is. You're going to do it regardless, because it's the mission that you set out to do in this world. And that's a decision that you've actively made to progress towards. That makes much more sense, doesn't it? Okay. So like, if you start and you stop and you start and you stop, and sometimes I fall victim to this as well, but like that's the reason why, because you haven't really sat down with your thoughts and figured out what it is that you want to truly do. And the thoughts that you have aren't really yours. So now you have to reprogram how you see the world. You have to rewire your brain. And you have to determine what is important to you. And you determine what is important to you by your feelings. So this sounds contradictory, because I just said, because feelings are also, they're also conditional, right? But the thing is that feelings are also instinctual, right? So when you lean into what feels good, you know that you're headed in the right direction. But I'm not saying that should be the basis of your decision making, because again, that's conditional. But like, if you feel good about something and it logically makes sense and all of the ducks align, all the stars align, then you should do it, right? And so there has to be a deeper level of thought. It can't just be that you watch some YouTube video and the guy on YouTube is telling you that you need to do this and you need to do that, because that's not what's going to help you succeed, because you haven't even determined success yet. You haven't even defined it for yourself. And so most people think that they lack the skills, or most people think that they lack the knowledge, when most people just lack the traits. You have to figure out what are the traits that you need to have first in order to then accomplish the things that you need to accomplish and that you want to accomplish in life. It starts with the traits. It starts with you. That's what it starts with. So it takes a lot of work like this, man. It takes a lot of work like this to really understand the direction that you need to be going towards. But there's other things that you need to account for. When I talk to all of the consultants that I talk to in my private Discord group, they're constantly asking me, well, they're constantly saying, I want to start an agency. And my question usually is, okay, cool, you want to start an agency, right? But do you realize how easy it was? Like how much, not easy, how much easier it was to start an agency 20 years ago? No one, not no one, a lot of people did not have a presence online. A lot of people needed a presence online. And so, like, the shift was because the systems changed, right? The systems were basically the things that people were doing before. Like, marketing was billboards and newspaper, and those were the systems that were put in place. If you wanted to function in that world, that's what you needed to do to compete in, right? That's what you needed to compete. And then the whole system changed when the internet came out. The system became the internet, right? And like the Google ads, the like all the things surrounding the internet is what basically gave people competitive advantage. If you were the first to learn how these platforms worked, then it was easier to convince someone like, hey, you'll pay way less money than what you're paying right now, and I'll be able to get you across the whole world. Why wouldn't people say no to that? There was no competition. It was easier to sell. And all you had to say was you are a data-driven marketer. That's all you had to say. But now when we look at how times are changing, the reason why I'm so bullish on e-learning and the creator economy is that every year more people are using YouTube. That's a fact. Every year, more people are preferring online learning than offline learning. That's a fact. Every year, college students, like the progression, the rate of progression at which college students are dropping out of school is elevating. It's a fact. So when we look at these things, we look at also the creator economy and online learning education space overall projected to be $350 billion this year. And we look at how many creators there are not that are serving specific markets. The question then, there's no question. It's like, okay, well, this is the direction that I should go towards. And I'm sure that there's other industries that have these trends, but I guess the thing that I'm trying to say is those are the trends that you should be looking for to determine if there's a right or if there's an opportunity for you to enter the market and actually succeed. Because you don't want to enter a market that is going against you. Like, that's way harder to succeed in. And like, genuinely, I believe once you understand these two things, it's way easier to know how to win in business. It's way easier. So that's just my thoughts. I wanted to come on here and share it, give you like a raw video, and I'm going to be doing more stuff like this because these are the things that I constantly think about. So if you watched all the way to the end, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.